Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Live SEO Support with your two favorite SEOs in the world, Christopher Gegis, Nicholas Altimore of sterlingsalot.co. Um,
Sup?
yeah, not too much. How are you?
I'm good. Well, I'm a little sick. I think I pulled the old Texas flu alone, but I'll
Very
make it.
nice.
I'm surviving. I'm here for everybody that's out there that needs our help, no matter what.
Very good.
Yeah.
Before we dive into stuff, we've got our Black Friday sale going on. It's
Mm,
25% off everything we sell, backlinks, domains, PBN builds, all that good stuff. Literally everything we sell,
best
25%
sale of the
off. It's
year.
our biggest sale of the year, and it's running for another 4 days, 5 days, I believe. It finishes on December 4th.
Yep, yep.
So if you're in the market for backlinks or domains or anything like that, definitely check us out. Yeah, and we're just going to go ahead and dive straight into some questions today because we've got a bunch backed up. And if you're watching live, you know what to do. Just go ahead and drop your questions in the chat. What's up, Petey? How you doing, man? All right, let's see what we got here. Can a .com site outrank a country site in that specific country? Example, .com outrank .mx in Mexico or .com outrank .fr in France. Does such .com site necessarily need more backlinks and content? I'm actually not very well versed on foreign SEO, so I'm going to defer to Nick on this. But before I defer to Nick, I'm going to say .coms can rank just fine anywhere.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, .com, .net, .org, the big ones.
Yeah, because
Now,
I've
you
definitely
know,
noticed, yeah, just in foreign SERP seeing .com still like dominating stuff in big niches and stuff. So
now, check with the SERPs, right? Like
yeah,
actually look and see what's ranking there because though I would venture to guess that .com can compete with just about any foreign TLD, there might be some that you'll find, for specific niches are heavily dominated by geographic specific SERPs. Maybe if the website needs more local relevance or something like that, then it'd be worth, at least checking. If you've got this question, then go in, look at all the SERPs you want to attack based on keyword research or like, the big ones, and kind of see what's resonating there and get an idea of what you should probably go with.
and on the flip side of that, for example, these other TLDs can actually rank fine in America or English-speaking places. A good example of this is our website, sirlinksalot.co. .co is actually a Colombian TLD, and we rank, very high in America for a lot of different, link building related terms, SEO related terms. So, yeah, it can kind of go both ways. Anything else to add on that one, Nick?
No,
Cool.
easy does it.
Let's see what we got next. All right. I have a 12-year-old website in the travel niche. This domain has travel guide plus the city name and the domain. DR7 organic traffic, only 400 unique visitors per month. I haven't touched it in years. Should I use this site to start promoting inns and bed and breakfast, or should I start a PMD from scratch? So DR7, it's already got some this domain has travel guide plus the city name in the domain. Um, I think I would. I think well, are you gonna? I guess it would depend a little bit on if you want to stay niched down to only that city, because you said that has a city name in the domain. If it has a city name in the domain, and it's like travel guide Houston.com or whatever, and you just want to do like inns and bed and breakfast on it, I think you could probably swing that and it might be a nice little shortcut. If you wanted to expand outside of just that city, I'd probably go the PMD route since you're only like DR7. I mean, it is. I think it would just come down to like that being my personal preference. I think some people might try to force it and try to and you might even be able to get away with using that even if you wanted to expand past just the one city. But I personally would not. I would go for a new PMD or a new kind of brandable domain to do it. What do you think, Nick?
Well, I mean, if what it's on digging through old domains that you've got and you're looking for, side projects to create or maybe work on a new project. This happens a lot, especially if you've been in SEO a while, you purchase domains with the intention of, building projects, then typically you've got what I call kind of like the domain graveyard or domain junkyard to pull, new ideas from. But like Chris said, if you go with the domain that you've got, then you're going to be limiting yourself to that specific city. Now, if it's a huge metro and you're starting off with bed and breakfasts and travel inns, then yeah, there'll be plenty of different offshoots you could take, restaurants, whatever else is in that city that would keep you busy, I would imagine. If you ever did want to broaden the directory, then it'd be better to start off with a PMD now. However, if it is just kind of a side project, you're just looking to attack that specific city, then I would say starting off with the domain that you've already got is a good option for you. Yeah, but that's basically, what you'd have to decide as far as your goal set is. Long term, am I going to want to branch out? Or am I want to just stick to the city and just kind of flesh that out? So, look at those two variables and decide from there is what I would say.
Yep. What's going on, Abdul? How you doing, man? All right. Getting through these things. See what we got next. And then if we get through these, then we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 audits, including the one you passed on. All right. I have found a brand new EMD available. Should I buy it or should I create a brand adding word? The purpose is an affiliate website. I have found a brand new EMD available. Should I buy it or should I create a brand
You've
adding
got
word?
a
Well, if you
So
add,
basically, you've got an option for an EMD, or you're saying, should I use a PMD,
yeah,
add a
yeah.
brand to make it? So for those of you that don't know, EMD is exact match domain. It would be like Plumber Houston, Plumber Dallas, whatever. Partial match domain would be like Bob's Plumbing Dallas, Bob's Plumbing Houston, right? So um, really, this is up to you. Chris and I have talked multiple times about, I think he's got the same idea as me as far as our favorites being partial match domains. I just like having a bit more branded influence in there so I can play with my anchors a bit more, but exact match domain does work. It has worked the entire time that I've been in SEO when people have been questioning it, whether it's spammy, etc. So, you can go either route here, really up to you. But yeah, personal preference, I like PMDs.
Yeah, so if you add a branded word to it, it's no longer really an EMD. I mean, it kind of is, but it's something a little bit different because it would still have it
It's
would
like a
still have like the exact,
long tail EMD.
yeah, it would just have it would be like diluted a little bit, so it wouldn't really be exactly the same thing, but you'd still get a ton of relevance for the exact match keyword that's in there. To be completely honest with you, it's not really something I've played with before. But like Nick was saying, I even though P or EMDs, exact match domains, can still work like very, very, very well, my preference is still, like Nick was saying, still to go with PMDs and just like one of the keywords in there. Like if it's plumbing, like Nick was saying, just have like the word plumbing instead of like, besthoustonplumbing.com or like best Houston or like Joe's Best Houston Plumbing. I guess that would be like the branded kind of option. Yeah, I would just kind of prefer to have the keyword, but it's personal preference, and you could really do any of those options. Really, you could try the EMD with a kind of more branded name on it, but yeah, not really something I've played around too much with yet, but I wouldn't expect it would work too much differently. Maybe just a slightly bit diluted. Anything else on that one, Nick?
No, I think you're good. Well, okay, so yeah, you're good. You're good. No need to get any more complicated.
All right. Someone's deleting other people's messages in here. I have no idea how that happened. Or maybe he changed his
Deleting other
name.
people's
I have no idea.
and where?
On YouTube. Okay.
Oh.
Let's see. Go ahead and grab this one off YouTube real quick. And hello on Facebook, Pete. You've switched.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you're enjoying the show. Maybe join us on YouTube if you're not on there, if you're on Facebook, or join us on Facebook in SEO Roundtable, our group where we're most active.
Yep, Facebook's definitely the place to be every day. Yeah, we're in there asking questions or answering questions and posting tips every day. And we're going to plug this throughout the show. Be sure to take advantage of our 25% off all backlink sale. We've got it running for 4 more days. It's kind of like an extended Black Friday sale, our biggest sale of the year. Every kind of link you can think about, our selection of hand-picked domains that we've bought up, and PBN builds, everything we sell, 25% off, biggest sale of the year. All right. Should we still best in titles and URLs for our affiliate websites? I'm guessing you mean, should you use the word best? Should we still best in titles and URLs for our affiliate websites? Yeah, you absolutely can. I'll just say that one thing you're going to want to make sure that you're doing is, when you're doing your keyword research and whatnot, just make sure that whatever that keyword is kind of grouped into as far as a topic goes, make sure it's like the biggest keyword, if that makes sense, because it might kind of be lumped under something else. But other than that, yeah, you can still definitely put best in the title and the URLs. I don't see anything wrong with that. Just be sure that you're still, adding a good amount of informational content on the site as well. This means content that's not monetized, content that is not like blah, blah, blah reviews or like best, dog toy, whatever. Like very obvious affiliate content that is just, basically trying to make money. Get some informational content in there as well. And actually, I was talking to someone on Facebook today and had a interesting thought about this that I hadn't really thought about before. And because I've heard a good amount of people say, oh, the whole informational content thing is bogus. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't work like that. But then a lot of very well-respected people are saying it does work like that and it is a thing. But I think this kind of new idea that it's emerging is it deals with the idea of topical relevance. And the idea is, so basically, if you have this affiliate website that's all like best whatever, you're not establishing yourself as a topical authority because you're only writing about like these like a kind of small sliver of the niche rather than having these other articles that end up being informational articles because they're not monetized in the same way. Do you understand what I'm saying, Nick?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's not so much that you need informational content, it's that you need to cover the niche in a way that Google sees you as a topical authority, which ends up adding a lot of informational content. Kind of a cool way to think about it. And I think it sounds, I think it could be correct. It would be kind of weird if they just said, like, you can't have this much monetized content. They could.
Yeah.
But I feel like this would kind of make a little bit more sense, but I guess we'll see. Do you have anything else to add on this one, Nick?
Well, yeah. I would say as of whenever it happened, that algo update that popped, sites that were heavy on best
I've been like
or
a
heavy
year or
on
two
review.
ago.
Yeah, it's been a while. I shifted completely away from using best or top or anything like that in the URL. And what I'd come to find is I like to break things down to be broader. So instead of best dog toys, it would just be dog toys, right? On /dog toys instead of /best dog toys. I'll probably sprinkle that in to titles here and there because it's something that I typically want to go after, right? You always want to be, top ranking for best, whatever. That's a huge review-based term, easy to monetize. But I would be if I wanted to target a page specific to best whatever, I would use it very sparingly. So like Chris said, if you've got 90% informational articles, even other monetized articles that are broader as far as the URL or the permalink goes, then I'd say you're probably fine there. But on a personal note, I don't throw best, top, or any of that stuff into the permalink anymore, but I will sprinkle it into H tags just to get that relevance in there. So,
Gotcha. And when in doubt, go look at the top rankers. Go just plug in and see what other people are doing in your niche. See what's working well. See if there's a good amount of them of sites that are doing the same thing that's working well. And yeah, you can kind of model your structure or your URL and your titles after that a little bit. All right. What to do if a 301 redirect is lowering ranking for a month now? Should I yoink it out?
Yoink. Cool.
A month is kind of a longer time for it to be kind of having these adverse effects. But honestly, I'm not the big 301 guy. But luckily, Nick is. And so, what do you think, Nick?
It's just, honestly, it's too, there's too many variables that could come into play that would make something like a 301 act adversely. And a month used to be a very long time, I would say. But now, especially depending on what you're doing with the rest of your SEO campaign, like if you're doing nothing, so what people used to do, if you're doing nothing, like not adding content, not adding a backlink campaign alongside this 301 that you're doing, it might take longer. And then I've noticed, especially if it's not perfectly niched down, or maybe it is, but there's, variables missing from getting it to make sense to the algorithm, then yeah, you might see a small decline in rankings for a decent period of time before it comes back up and over. I've seen that happen too. So quite honestly, I can't give you a response that says, yeah, yoink it out. It's your issue, without kind of diving into the site, because there's a lot of other things that could be going on that could be inhibiting you from getting rankings thanks to this 301. Now, if you were at like a high amount of traffic, this is the only variable you've messed with, then chances are it could be creating negative effects for you and your site. But again, Google does know why people use 301s, which is to manipulate the algorithm, right? So I do think that over the years, they've kind of fine-tuned ways to get people to think that they're not working, or maybe, like it's like a time-based system within an algorithm that's that's kind of keeping you suppressed or keeping you down before it rips you back up. So, if you want us to, do an audit or quick look in, you can pass us the URL and we'll get to that at some point in time. But yeah, kind of a difficult question. 301s are really wonky over the last few years, especially. So you've kind of got to play multiple angles to get them to take, especially if you want them to take quickly, which for me at this point in time, quickly is like up to 3 months.
Yeah, and we'd also, like Nick was saying, before we'd really give you advice on this, even though a month does seem like a long time, we'd also, like Nick was saying, we'd want to know more information, like like how niche relevant is the 301? How exactly did you 301 it? Like where are you pointing everything? Did you create any, new pages or whatever that mirrored the old pages? Are you going like one for one over like that, or are you just going all to the home page? There's, And then, like he was saying as well, like what else have you been doing? Have you done nothing else? Have you been adding new content to your site? Basically there's so much that can cause um, ranking drops that it's hard to really pinpoint exactly what caused them. Um, but usually when you add a 301, it's a pretty considerable little boost when it works. So the fact that they're going down is definitely not super great, but yeah, I would need a little bit more information, I think, to give you really good advice. Hey Adrian, what's up, man? Pete says, a little advice from Google Jail. Use pros, likes, or links a lot to avoid wasting a bunch of time and effort. Pete, it's
Appreciate that.
if you, all I want to say to you, Pete, is that don't worry too much. It happens to everybody, especially people, everyone just dives face first into SEO, and usually the first project, or maybe even the first couple projects, are usually a bust, and they just mess them up completely and do everything wrong and have a bunch of problems. But it's part of the whole learning experience, right? There's just so many little things that we kind of that you have to know that you start to take for granted once you've known how to do it for a while. But you'll be good.
Yeah,
We'll
remember.
get through this. And keep asking questions in the group if you need help with something.
Just remember, failure is your friend, especially in SEO. Prodding with stuff is going to teach you more than even us, like any guru is going to teach you. Firsthand experience is the biggest thing.
For
And,
sure.
similar to you, I lost a fucking fortune starting out in SEO, chasing especially like the quicker gimmicks, because that's what everybody wants, the quicker, cheaper gimmicks.
That's what gets people in the
Um,
most
you
trouble.
know,
They cut too
a
many
lot of
corners.
money flew out of my hands. Um, that's for
I
sure.
was actually
But,
talking.
you know,
Sorry, go ahead.
you build recipes based off of experimenting with that kind of stuff, learning how to use it, and it's going to give you more of an advancement than anything else will. So even though I know it sucks right now, if you stay tenacious, keep working at it, over time you'll thank yourself for making that investment in this kind of knowledge.
I was talking with someone else about this earlier because there was this guy, not in our group. There was this guy who needed his site audited, and his website was very low quality, and it was basically like, "Hello, sir. You've literally like tried to cut every single corner you possibly could, and
Hell yeah, baby.
like we just need to start from like square one, basically, focus on just creating like a website that people would actually like read and use and is well organized and, nice interlinking and just that kind of thing. That's step one. Then you can start kind of getting into SEO a little bit after that. Um, but yeah, it's natural. Um, Abdul, you can send us a private message on Facebook if you're in our Facebook group, SEO Roundtable. You can send it to Chris or Nick, or you could send it to Sir Links a Lot Facebook page. Actually, don't send it there. Send me or Nick a PM. Crowd search is working right now. I have no idea what that is. Do you know what crowd search is, Nick?
Mm-mm. Though it sounds kind of familiar. Um,
We have Flip for
Wait, it's a
Profits in here.
product?
We have Flip for Profits in here advertising our Black Friday sale. I like that, Flip for Profits.
I
I
like
wish there was a
that.
way we could
Good way to
promote
get
you.
points for that $200 a month competition.
Yeah, 25% off all backlinks. We got guest posts, niche edits, PBN links, pillow links, diversity links, low authority edits for tiered link building. Literally, pretty much any kind of link you can actually want to use for your link building campaign. We sell it. 25% off for the next 4 days. Biggest sale of the year. Don't miss out. All right.
If y'all are watching right now, I'm going to give you a huge advantage on winning this $200 bonus for December. Actually, I think December we're going to have a substantially larger little giveaway
Yeah, we
slash
normally do
bonus.
5 of them, I think.
We're going to do something nasty. It's going to be great. But for those of you here in tune watching now, something we're especially going to be looking at is who is sharing our content, especially content, that maybe stands a chance of getting reshared, etc. So yeah, just know that that's something we're going to be heavily looking at, is shares. Not in a spammy way, okay, but tastefully dropping Sir Links-a-Lot in different places.
Sabyasachi, can you give us a little
cataloged.
more information on what the tool actually does? I know you say it's a click-through rate boosting tool, but
Yeah, I'm on
is
it
it
now.
like sending like bots to like click on stuff? Is that what you're talking about? If it's that it's
Yeah.
not something we stay away from bots.
Oh, I've used it
Have you?
before. If it's the same one that's been around for literally years, I can't say definitively, but I've definitely seen, I mean, they could have just repackaged this branding on this website too. But so what they're saying is that they do organic crowd search from thousands of real people. So they're basically going to share your information, get you tons of traffic. And I can't say definitively, and I want to trash anybody's business. Maybe that is exactly what they're doing. But I know previously when I used this kind of stuff, it was bot traffic, and
Yeah.
bot traffic, you need an insane amount of IPs, clean IPs, in order to get that to work. And we're talking about using it to go against the largest search engine based corporation in the world. It's going to have to be squeaky clean. So, on a personal note, this is something that I'd stay away from, having done it in the past. Not to say that there aren't people that do know how to strategically use it, but it's something that I definitely stay away from. Yeah.
Yeah, like I was saying, we generally stay away from anything bot related. It's just not something we tend to use.
But again, we don't know if they really are using
Yeah,
bots.
they're just so heavily incentivized to use bots.
And have you gone to this site yet?
Nah.
It's I don't know, it doesn't instill a lot of confidence in me.
Gotcha.
But maybe they're not design, based. Maybe they're just really good coders and or have some good ideas.
All right, let's see what we got next. How to know if I build too many links for an inner page. I mainly compete with a couple of much higher DR sites that do not actively build links on their inner pages since they rank with their general authority. Because of this, I have no reference of how many links should I build on my inner pages, and I do not want to blast a lot of links and take my pages. Currently, I'm building 4 to 5 links a month on 2 to 3 top revenue pages. So how many links you send to your inner pages, we kind of look at it as like in proportion to the total amount of links that your website has. So like if your website has, 100 referring domains, would 20 to 30 links on an inner page be too much? And I would say yes, that would be way too much. It can happen though, like for, whatever reason, it can happen naturally that for whatever reason, one page on a website, even though it's not very big, gets linked to much more heavily than other pages. But in general, our advice is to really stay away from this kind of thing, because you start tipping the scales in the favor of things just kind of starting to look unnatural. And if you're building these links yourself, you need to be trying to go the other direction, which is trying to get everything to be as natural as possible. So my advice to you on this would be do what the other sites are doing and build up the authority of your website on the on your homepage and some maybe hub pages like category pages, things like that, or just your blog roll page. These pages that link out to a bunch of other pages on your site that hopefully you have. And then, you can also build links to, in addition to building, you can build links to the inner page, of course, but then you can also build links to your supporting content for that inner page. So maybe the page you're working on is like best headphones for, whatever, best headphones. and then you had 10 articles about headphones just giving information. So you could build links to those 10 articles about headphones, and those headphones articles will then interlink to your money page, right? Kind of spreading the juice around that way. So if you're doing this, if you're building the authority of your overall domain, you have good amount of links to your homepage, good amount of links to category pages and other hub pages, good amount of links to your other informational content that's interlinked to your main content, your selling content. You're basically you're not gonna need to worry about going too heavy on building too many links to these inner pages, basically, because things will just take care of themselves, and you're going to start ranking much better for the pages without having to build too many links to it. But yeah, I can't give you like an exact like percentage we really use for this kind of thing, like how to tell if it's too heavy. It's kind of something we just eyeball, and if it's too big of a percentage of the page of the total link count that the domain has, then we try to get away from that. What do you got on this one, Nick?
So if you're asking this question and the way that it's written makes me think that you're somebody who has a pretty niche down site, you know which keywords you want to rank for. You're trying to go up against what I think are probably high authority websites, given that they're ranking with minimal interpage links. Then my guess is you're trying to kind of game the system. Your concept of what you're doing is, well, I'm going to take majority of my budget. I'm going to go to the inner pages strategically, which should give me a competitive advantage against these authority sites that don't have any inner page links. But the fact of the matter is, these authority sites are beating you out just because of the overall authority of their website. And you might be or giving yourself a harder time by only focusing on your top 3 revenue pages. So
Yeah.
if every month you're literally giving your entire link building budget or majority of your link building budget, and when I say majority, even like 50, 60%, to these inner pages versus building up the overall authority of your entire site, then you could actually be hindering your ability to compete with these other pages. So you've got to be very careful with thinking that maximizing, quote, link juice to these inner pages is going to be your saving grace, because the fact of the matter is, oftentimes when we see people doing this, they're over optimizing anchors, and they're just making things look completely unnatural. And especially if you're going up against higher authority websites that are predominantly strong because of links hitting the homepage with natural anchors, then that's going to be something that's actually really hard to beat out in the SERPs, quite
And not
honestly.
to mention that
It's
and sorry to interrupt real quick, but not that it's only going to be hard, but it's just another thing that's not normal. Like you said, all of these other sites are these big sites with almost no links going to this article that they're trying to rank. And then you've got your article, who's a weak domain with a bunch of links going to the article. It sticks out like a sore thumb to Google. Why is this little site getting so many links to this article that these other huge authority sites with good information are not? You know, it doesn't make sense. Why is yours getting so many links and theirs aren't?
right.
It's just it's another thing in the unnatural pile that could end up hindering you. Sorry, go ahead, Nick.
I think that's about it. Yeah, good to go.
Gotcha. And yeah, like Nick was saying, this stuff can hinder you. It's something we kind of see somewhat often. People, their instinct is they think if they just build the links directly to the pages, that's like the best shot they have. And so this guy's got more authority to me, but if I build my links straight to the page, I'm going to outrank him.
Right.
What we see a lot of the times is people try this kind of thing, and the site just, they get basically stuck on like page 2 or 3, and they have a ton of links going to these pages. And Google's basically kind of just said like, yeah, y'all are like all right, but like something just kind of doesn't feel right, and it's like they just don't ever let them past a certain point. So yeah, build up the homepage, hub pages. You can link to your supporting content a little bit, but not too heavy. Yeah, just do all that stuff and focus on raising your authority. And like Nick was saying as well, if you are like a smaller kind of like sniper site, more niche down site, that's your advantage right there. Like you don't necessarily need to just hammer the inner page links and have a smaller niche down site if that is the case. You could just still focus on building the authority of your site, and because it's a smaller niche down site, you could eventually, possibly, depends on how Google decides to do things, but you could still beat these other sites out with the same amount of inner page links and less authority just by your site being a smaller, more focused site, and you're a topical authority on this thing, if that is the case.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it all the time. Our favorite, or best practice for us is building overall authority to the homepage with natural anchors, building out the content, to the specific niche or topical map, and moving from there. So, without even seeing your site, I'm going to say go ahead and reverse back, quit sending these inner pages links, and start building up the overall authority of your asset.
All right. Do you have any idea to buy PR backlink? I'm guessing it means press release backlinks. Yeah, you can get press releases on Fiverr. Where do you get press releases these days, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, you can do Fiverr, right? You're going to get the lower quality guest posts. A lot of people think that they don't want those, they don't add value, etc. But in my opinion, they're really good for pillowing. If you're doing a massive pillow link kind of campaign, then that's a good way to do it. You just, to the homepage with a natural or branded anchor or naked anchor, best way to do it. Now, I am a little bit confused because PR, we've got press release in SEO, public relations, which may be, I don't know, maybe you're talking about like Haro kind of links, or PR, what metric am I thinking of? PR. No. So I guess it's those two things. So yeah, so for the Fiverr style press release, we're talking about lower quality. It's going to be an article that's syndicated to, 500 plus different news stations. They auto pick them up. They're not really that difficult to get, etc. So they're not weighted heavily, but they can give good information. I like to use them, especially like at the startup of a website, where, with the 301, it's a good way to say, hey, company A bought company B. And then, as far as Haro links, or anything where you're actually submitting your information to somebody who can syndicate this to a higher quality of these like editorial backlinks, it's going to be a lot harder.
You need to have something actually newsworthy and be like, some people are going to have to care about it. So maybe, so basically if you're like not too big of a deal, it might be best to stick with Fiverr, find a nice one on Fiverr with some good reviews and stuff. And like Nick was saying, natural anchors to your homepage. And then, if you're actually a big authoritative website, with a bunch of traffic, and you're a little more known in your niche or whatever, you could try to go for one of these more bigger ones. But yeah, much harder for the outlets to actually pick it up.
Or do both, but the higher end editorial stuff is definitely difficult to get. However, if you do get in there and you can get some of this higher quality, harder to get websites editorials pointing at you, then, great job, and definitely valuable links there.
All right. So this is going to be a real short answer. How to build powerful backlink. I'm just going to
links a lot, silly.
I'm just going to give you a really short answer. Guest posts, niche edits, Actually, if you're asking this question, I'm just going to say guest posts and niche edits are your two most used types of backlinks. You want to do some pillow links as well, but that's generally not what people talk about when they're talking about powerful backlinks. Niche edits and guest posts are links from real websites, from other people's websites that you do not own. And the way to get them is to email the websites. It's called outreach. You're going to have to email them and work out a deal with them. A lot of the time it does involve money. It doesn't have to, but in 2022, if we're going to be real about it, in most cases it does. It's a time-consuming process. Your tools make everything go much faster. You're basically going to have to find a lot of sites to reach out to, find all of their contact information, then reach out to them with a somewhat personalized message, basically pitching them to either write content for the website, which would be a guest post, or why your link would make a good insertion into one of their pre-existing articles. But yeah, that's how people build powerful backlinks. Those are, and then Haro, you got Haro as well, help a reporter out. They can be no follow a lot of the times, but they're still like pretty awesome links, which is they send out two emails a day, and with questions, and you answer reporters' questions, and if they like your answer, they'll link to your website, usually your homepage with your brand name or your actual name of the person as the anchor text. Yeah, do you have anything to add on that one, Nick?
Well, geez, I mean, don't forget about the most powerful backlink.
I didn't want to say
homepage contextual backlinks.
I didn't want to say
PBNs.
PBN links though, just because a newer person asking the question.
I mean, it's just a powerful backlink.
It's true,
so yeah,
though.
I mean, it's where I kind of started, even though I shouldn't have. So, if we're talking about powerful backlinks, I think what's most important, especially if you're asking this question, is there are different strengths of backlinks, but they don't work exclusively, meaning you can't just pick one, type of backlink that's stronger than the rest of them, or that you assume is stronger than the rest of them. What you want to do this day and age is create a well-rounded backlink campaign. So if we're talking about the most high authority or powerful backlinks, then we're talking about, like Chris said, niche edits, guest posts, PBNs, Haro links, editorial links, that kind of stuff, right? Blending all that stuff together is going to give you the most powerful mix, and that is going to be your competitive advantage right there, right? So if you're exclusively thinking, wow, I found the strongest backlink, it's a guest post, and then you stick to doing that for 6 months to a year, well, you're creating a footprint of what kind of backlinks you're getting. It's not natural, especially in the long run, right? So diversification of powerful backlinks created a kind of well-rounded portfolio of what Google Algo is seeing is going to be really your kind of best weapon when considering backlinks in search engine rankings.
And yeah, who asked this one? Aniket. If you have more questions on this stuff, because this is like your question is very broad, and we're not trying to be rude, but it's like it's a very big question. It could take us hours of walking you through how to do this kind of thing, right? Or even days. So you could also check out our YouTube channel. You could use the search bar. You could search for guest post or niche edits or PBN links, and we've got tons of videos and all this stuff. You could also go to our blog at sirlinksalot.co. We've got some good articles on like types of backlinks, all that kind of stuff. And you can join our Facebook group, SEO Roundtable, and ask questions in there if you have like a more specific question, especially, and we could kind of help you out, especially if it's more specific and not such a big question. And yeah, we're in the Facebook group every single day answering people's questions and posting tips and all that good stuff. All right. Please talk about e-commerce link building. Top sites have guest posts. Should I buy the same guest posts? Please suggest. You don't need to worry about. I don't. So basically, I think you're talking about like getting like the common links, like your competitors all have links from like a certain website. Should I get the link from that website too? You could. It's not something I focus on too heavily, like too heavily, unless it's like actually like a really good link. Um, I'm not saying it's not a thing. It definitely is a thing, but it's just not something I like super duper focus on. Like I gotta go get the exact same links that they got. Because if you're gonna be real about it, there's a ton of options for links out there that they don't have that you can get. You're not limited to just links that your competitors have. But as far as e-commerce link building goes, I don't really have much to say on it as far as something new other than link building we do to like affiliate websites and that kind of thing. You just want to build relevant links and you want to build a diverse mix of links and you want to use a diverse mix of anchor text. The one thing I guess I could say about e-commerce link building that's slightly different is I've gotten really good results building links to um, we're always saying build links to the homepage. So of course, you still want to be building links to your homepage, build up your overall authority of the site. And normally when we talk about affiliate sites, we talk about linking to like category pages and that kind of thing, or hub pages, basically pages that link out to a bunch of other stuff like a blog reel or a category page. And so on e-commerce links, e-commerce websites, you could build links to your product category pages rather than going too heavy on like the individual product pages, right? And so you're using those product category pages kind of like a hub page. So it's really the same thing as you would do like with affiliate sites categories, except that it's an e-com site and it's a product category page instead of just like a topical category page, if that makes sense. Am I missing anything, Nick?
The only thing that kind of just like occurred to me would be, let's think about like quality of the links, right? If you're exclusively analyzing your competitor's backlink profile and you see that, 5 of the websites in the top positions have a link from this particular site, and then you see that it's relatively easy to get that link, it's not necessarily that you shouldn't have that link, but if you think about it, it's going to be more so based on, is it worth the return on investment for paying for that link, assuming that you're going to have to pay for it, or for taking the time to get that link. I think if it's a easy link to get, then Google is, or search engines in general are pretty good about kind of dismissing those and treating them more like a pillow link. So if it's easy or cheap enough to get, then it's probably worthwhile to get, especially if you're doing more than that particular competitor in aspects to link building or anything else. It's going to give you a competitive advantage. However, if it's a write for us guest post or something along those lines, everybody's got it, and they want $200 for it, I'd probably abstain and I'd take my budget and I'd go, get comparable stuff elsewhere. So, whenever you're asking these questions, you've got to think about your return on investment and what you're doing in aspects to manipulating an algorithm. Is this the best use of my money? So sometimes you've got to analyze the type of links you're getting, especially if you're doing competitive research, trying to clear link gaps and stuff like that.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll add is don't just build guest posts. Or my advice is not to build just guest posts. Guest posts can still be like the main kind of link that you build, but you still want to build other stuff as well. That means like niche edits. So a guest post is a new article on a website, right? And you do like the whole article and you got a link in there. Then you can do niche edits, which is a link inserted into a pre-existing article. So the article's already been there, could have been there for years, 10 years even, and you're getting your link edited into the article. And this is very different from a guest post because it's older, it's established, the kind of trust with Google. And I actually like them because they usually tend to be not quite as like laser focused relevant. And a lot of like guest posts are very like formulaic, right? not that they don't have to be. Like you could have like very good topics written about your guest posts, but a lot of people when they get guest posts, they just do these kind of more just like very formulaic kind of simple articles. So niche edits, you know, we love kind of spicing, just mixing things up with niche edits a bit. Guest posts probably still used more than niche edits, but they're somewhat equal as far as how much we're using both of them. Then you can also do your stuff like your haro links, and then of course, you know, don't forget stuff like pillow links, diversity links, kind of link packs that we sell. But these are just the more like natural links that anybody can go and make, like social profiles. I can even do some like blog comments, forum links, video links, Q&A links, citations, just all this kind of stuff. Just to build a natural backlink profile instead of just being like, you know, guest post after guest post after guest post. And when you look at the backlink profile, it's kind of funny to see some of these sites sometimes because it's like their entire backlink profile is like 10 reasons why you should, or like,
Yeah.
you know, like it's just link after link, which is like obvious guest post. And that's just not natural, right? That's not, you know, when natural websites that aren't actually doing link building get links built to them, that's just not what they look like. So, and in order to stay safe and make sure you don't run into any problems, you want to diversify things and try to get things looking more natural. Let's see.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you're enjoying the show. We've got 25% off absolutely everything in our shop over at sirlinksalot.co. It's the biggest sale of the year. Don't forget to take advantage of it.
For sure. Abdul says, not gonna lie, you guys are the most friendly people I've come across giving advice. Usually others give vague answers. Thanks, man. Glad you can get some value out of the stream.
You know, Chris and I didn't have people like us when we started in SEO.
Man,
so, you know,
that would have been
pay
awesome.
It situation.
Been able to like ask questions like this
for free on YouTube. Yeah,
for sure. All right, let's see what else we got. Also, since this might have been a follow-up to another question that I deleted, but let's see if we can answer it. Also, since this is an age domain, I do not actively build any links on the homepage since the site has more than 100 plus unique referral on the homepage. Do you think I start to build links here and there also on the homepage? General site DR slow.
Yeah. So
you never want to stop building links to the homepage. Even if it's got already 100 links to the homepage, we're still, you know, we always build links to the homepage. So like even like where you are, you know, like the most aggressive we might get one month is like maybe 50% or maybe like 75% would be a very aggressive month, like 75% not homepage links. But we definitely would not do that every month. Most of the months, it'd probably be like, even if we had a lot of homepage links already, most months the most aggressive would be like 50-50, but really it'd probably even be less than that. It'd probably be more like 60% homepage links or even 75% homepage links. We're always building the homepage links. And yeah, probably the most aggressive normally is maybe like 50-50 on some months, but not every month. What do you think, Nick?
So with a age domain, you've got to remember, unless you picked it up right as soon as it dropped, that press is going to be trailing from a different time period than when the site that you built is on there. And I find it hard to believe that Google doesn't know how to write that into its algorithm. So especially when you're looking to use an age domain, either as a repurposed site or as a 301, a backlinking campaign to the homepage is still, you know, very important for creating continuity or for creating emulated press that says this asset's been revived. So, you know, just because a age domain had a ton of homepage press doesn't mean that you just stop doing it. Yeah, the way that you could kind of hack that is if, like I said, that domain has been resonating and maybe you picked it up right as somebody dropped it, etc. Right? So there's a lot of movement in the SERPs with that particular site. A lot of pages indexed, and historical press isn't that far away. But if you've picked up a 10-year-old site, you're trying to piggyback on press that hit that site 10 years ago without doing anything new, something is going to be missing from the narrative that you're telling with that story or backlinks. So yeah, that'd be my advice there.
And speaking of narratives, another way you could look at this thing is, for example, let's just use the example CNN.com, obviously a huge website. And you ask yourself, so CNN's already got a lot of homepage links. Does that mean that CNN is not going to get any more homepage links after a few years? Are they going to stop getting homepage links? And the answer is, of course not, right? It doesn't matter how big the site is, they're going to always be getting homepage links. It's the most natural way you can build a link. And yeah, basically sites should never stop getting homepage links. You're never going to stop building them. And don't look at it like don't look at homepage links like a waste. You're boosting the authority of your site in a very safe, very natural way. Look at it as like a good thing, like just getting some easy, natural juice. Don't gotta worry about it, right? Stress-free.
Easy juice.
Easy juice. Some nice, juicy little
It's the best kind.
But yeah, just look at it that way rather than, and then when you start doing like homepage links, instead of looking at these, it's like, ooh, I'm really getting this nice, juicy homepage link. Don't look at that like that. Look at it more like, I'm being more aggressive right now. Can I do this? Is this okay? So like your inner page links, you should always like question yourself. Like you should know, this is more risky. This is slightly more unnatural. This isn't as safe. I'm not saying that you shouldn't build inner page links. I'm just saying it's not the easy, carefree juice that you can just send to that homepage all day, every day, and never have to even blink an eye about it, right? That's the easy, good stuff. So maybe just change the way you think about it a little bit. It's not a waste to build homepage links. They're very good, especially if you practice good interlinking and you have some nice like kind of categories on your homepage or just ways for the link juice to kind of spread out over your site. Yeah, very good.
Think about the kind of bullshit monopoly Google would create if it was just as simple as like, oh, find the most powerful expired domain or aged domain that you can, and we'll automatically give you rankings just based on the authority of the historical authority of that site. People would be focused a whole lot more on procuring domains rather than month-to-month backlinking campaigns at that point in time.
For sure. I see that on many case studies that you insert social signals at the beginning of a campaign. I see the reason to justify the buzz and the backlinks. Do you have other good reasons to do it? I'm thinking to do it every month before those 3 to 5 links per pages. Yeah, you could literally do social signals every month. The justification for social signals is if your site has good enough content and it's being linked to basically from other websites, so it's getting backlinks. It's generally going to be talked about on social media as well, and people are going to post that link on social media sites as well. When a website is popular, it doesn't only get that popularity through links from other websites. Like social media is such a huge part of the way that people use the internet. And even though social signals, these links from social media are definitely not counted in the same way as a regular backlink, that there's something that just helps tie the whole picture together. It's like a pillow link. It's something that just makes everything look nice and natural. Google says, hey, these guys are, they're getting backlinks. They're over here on social media. People are talking about them on Facebook. Like, okay, they've got their presence all over social media and they're being talked about all over the place. And so, yeah, it might not influence your rankings quite as much, but it's this like very like natural signal. And yeah, you can build some every month. You can build some every other month. You don't need to go like crazy on them or anything. But we definitely like to build them throughout link building campaigns. We don't just do it in the beginning. And if we did for some reason just do it in the beginning of link building campaign on our case studies, it's just a coincidence. But in reality, for link building campaigns, it's something that we do it throughout the campaign, kind of just randomly or whenever we think about it or just have a chance to do it. We don't necessarily do them every month, but you could. Yeah, it doesn't really matter too much one way or the other. It's just kind of up to you, really.
Yeah,
Anything
on a
on that one,
personal
Nick?
note, I mean, I think it is a good tool to add month to month. I don't know if you really got into this. I ended up iming a bit, but yeah, especially if you're getting press, it makes sense for you to get pressed on social media as
Yeah,
well
talk about
as,
this.
yeah, okay, yeah. So so yeah, you're covered. Good to go.
All right. I don't think we have any time for audits today, unfortunately, unless you really wanted to get to this one, Nick.
Uh, the thing about it is it's a brand new site, so there really isn't too much to explain. Like,
You want to do it real quick?
um, yeah, I guess so.
All right,
It
let's do
should
it
it
fast.
should be easy.
Let's do a 10-minute tops
Oh yeah, it
audit.
won't even take that. Especially I've kind of already gone over it. So if you just want to pull up ARFs, I'll just kind of talk about it a bit. But basically what we're looking at
Wait,
here.
hold up. Let me get set up for the
Well, yeah,
YouTube video.
just put it up.
Well, hold on. Just wait a second.
Oh yeah, okay, for when it's cut.
It's for the
Yeah,
editor.
yeah. Makes sense.
Sorry, guys. 1 second. I'll get a picture for y'all to look at while we're auditing this thing. Did they change the overview 2.0 page again? I'm still not using it. I'll go back to this one. All right. So this is the site we are auditing. Oop. Dang it. Oh my God, hold on 1 second.
Sorry.
I always forget to do this. When I switch my screen resolution. All right.
It's off to this. Oh, you got it.
All right, go ahead.
So, just a little background. It's a new site, new domain. These guys have been in business a while, financial niche, but they've never done any SEO, and they just wanted some information about what route to go from here. It's a very small site. It is not targeting any particular SERPs through keyword research right now. Like I was talking to him, I was like, well, your main focus needs to be content at this point in time. And he was like, well, I don't really see what else I would do as far as content. I've pretty much fleshed it out. Then I started talking about keyword research. You need to learn keyword research and probably start there, as it's the best way to kind of group together a idea that will become the foundation of the asset you're going to build on. So if it's in the financial niche, especially like asset management and stuff like that, then you want to build a topical map of everything under that umbrella and get content going to that. So hypothetical, if it's asset management, then all the specific informational articles you might expect to fall under that. What to look for in somebody that manages money, etc., right? Like all the topics, and you're going to have to go through that, do
Or just go look
some,
at your competitors.
look at your
That's probably where I'd
competitors and see
start.
what they're doing as well. Which, I mean, essentially, if you think as a new business owner that you've got a 5-page site and you've put all the information that you think is pertinent to
And
your
that's it.
business, it's not enough to convey what your business is about, or if it's competitive enough to show up in the top search to Google, right? So like you need to speak the language that Google speaks, which is a robotic language, right? So we talk about that. Places to start here: keyword research, and then really just on-page basics, etc. Right? But those are
Yeah, it
things you
looks like
can
their
move
link
into.
building, they haven't, it looks like none of it was really done themselves.
No, I'm
It
not
just
really
looks
sure
very
what they did.
natural. They got like 12 referring domains.
Right.
And they look like they're, I mean, they're up to like 100 traffic, so it's still really low, but it looks like they pretty much got there naturally. It looks like site's been online for almost 3 years now.
Right.
Um, and
And
yeah, they just, this is
for
what happens when normal people build websites, right? They put the
exactly.
website online, they say, this is our business.
Right.
This is everything you need to know about our business. And they don't do any link building. They don't do any content marketing. They don't really beef up the site to
It's
establish
a
a big
business
footprint
card.
or anything. And it just doesn't go anywhere. Exactly. It's a business card website because that's the only way people will ever find this site, essentially. Or if they look up your brand name, maybe. So yeah, like Nick was saying, just content on this thing. You could slowly start building some backlinks to the homepage if you wanted to, just because building your authority takes time. Let's be real. It can take a really long time. And being in the financial niche, definitely better, I would say, to get started sooner rather than later. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't go crazy at this point since the site's so small and everything. You can just kind of start slowly building to the homepage and, like Nick was saying, really focus on just going crazy on content, right? Look up your competitors as a starting place. Just take every single article that your competitors have written and that's your starting point.
Yeah, yeah, because it's like we could get
um,
more complex. Use surfer, yada yada, but it's like this person, no SEO reference, right? Like has never watched our
yeah,
show, etc. It's like where do you start
there's a lot
here?
to learn.
Content. And so what you said about check out your competitors and then basically, rewrite a bunch of the articles that they've got is
And he
a
doesn't even need a tool to do that. He could literally just go to their website,
yeah.
go to their blog, and be like, oh, they have these like articles on all this stuff, and I'm reading this article, and then it links to like their services page. Oh,
Right.
okay.
Right.
So you just kind of start doing that kind of thing. They don't need to do keyword research too much yet. Just kind of write a similar article. If it's just kind of look at like the length or whatever, try to have it kind of somewhat the same length and talk about similar things. Try to just cover it, write a very well structured article.
Yeah.
And then you're probably gonna have to learn a little on-page SEO,
He
titles, H tags, that kind of thing. We've got an article on our website, the on-page fundamentals. But, first things first, it's just start getting that content on the site, and then you can go from there and just kind of go and fine tune it and take things one step at a time.
yeah.
And yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a journey, but
Yeah.
everyone starts somewhere. Like
Yeah.
Pete, if he's still around here somewhere.
Well, and see, the advice was fairly similar in aspects to what I said to this person, which is, SEO is very technical, complex, and it's going to take time, especially if you're new, and especially if you're working on an asset that, feeds your family. Like this is this person's company, right? Um, what I said was focus on kind of, learning and then fleshing out the content. It's hard to mess both of those things up, right? And yeah, as you get more confident, you can kind of branch out, etc. But you don't need to go crazy. And, especially to people just getting started out learning SEO, I say learn SEO, especially if you don't have like an experimental site you can really mess with without it hurting your livelihood. And then as you're working on that, maybe learn something that's a bit more linear, like ads. Um, because ads you can immediately drive traffic with a little bit less information on how to do it, and then you can kind of tweak things a bit easier, and
It
of
also
course
takes that money.
yeah, it takes money, but so does SEO. People that think
Well,
SEO, it's like, oh well, once I get my organic rankings then I've just got unlimited traffic for free.
well,
Name one campaign you've worked on where it's just been that streamlined. Well, I was gonna name one, but
they could go, even if they had a 9 to 5, they could basically make a very simple website with a couple categories and just start writing an article every couple days and just go
yeah,
from
but
there,
that's
right?
that's still gonna take
It takes time, but they don't
yeah.
have to necessarily spend anything on it at that point. if they're doing it themselves, at least, we wouldn't want to do that. We wouldn't want to
But this is a
write every single
this is
article
a
on the website.
financial,
But
like they're money managers, so their time is worth quite a bit of
yeah,
money, right? So they'd either be buying content or, they
paying
could
a
look at
worker,
spending
maybe
money
one
on
of their
ads.
workers to write something.
Yeah. The older I get, and I didn't start out this way, but the longer I spend in SEO, the more I am privy to say, if you're newer and you're getting started, then learning ads is a good way to go about things too, because you can get pretty good reach with a relatively small budget. And then once SEO kicks in, you can either, kind of offset some of that ad budget, or you've just got both of them working in unison for you. And you're, less liable to get popped by Google giving you an algo update at random, or, Facebook, removing iOS data or something like that, right? Like, so it's just diversification of where you get your traffic from.
I felt like I still definitely lean towards SEO, unless like maybe they were, I don't know, maybe like an e-com shop. I mean, if they're like a business, like this guy's financial, kind of financial services, then I would say
Yeah.
they could probably definitely swing some ads.
Well, right, because like it's like,
Yeah,
they can get phone calls,
immediately, yeah, and
etc.,
they
versus
and hopefully
like
they have a
they're trying
budget,
to, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. Maybe with like an affiliate site, small budget, etc.,
yeah,
like that wouldn't be the route, right?
yeah,
But especially if you're your own
yeah, and
business,
you're just trying to kind of
you
figure out how to
accept
make
calls or
money online or
emails.
something.
Yeah,
Maybe not so
yeah.
much then.
Oftentimes that just means getting the traffic to you, right? That's the hardest thing, is how do people find me in this sea of websites that exist even off the SERPs. Now, he did have a couple other questions. One was similar to the first question that we got about foreign TLD. So they've got it on a .us domain. However, he was asking, should I maybe use the .com instead? And at first I said, it's more so a preference. However, they are trying to attack Latin American SERPs. And when I saw that, I kind of, now in thinking, I maybe change that idea. And what Chris said earlier too, we use a .co, a Colombian domain. A lot of people think it's stands for company, but it
That's what
does
I
not.
thought
And we rank in
actually
the
a
U.S.
while
Yeah,
back.
yeah. A lot of people. I just thought it was clean and short, and I've liked using it for a long time. But you know, I think when I look at something like finance, I think boomers a whole lot. And Chris and I have run into conversations with people that are maybe a bit more old fashioned, where they don't trust these other TLDs. They seem sketchy to them. I don't trust nothing but a .com or .net domain. We've actually had a kid our age, say that too. So that might be something worth thinking about too, if you're, trying to build something out like this, especially if you're going after foreign countries. Best to nip it in the bud and, go about it from the ground up. Well, if we're going after international SERPs, then maybe .us isn't the best way to go. And since you don't have any backlinking going on really or anything like that, that's cool. Just switch the content over to the .com domain and then 301 that old domain if you want to keep these, 7 or so referring domains going to your asset. But yeah, I think that about covers it. It's just, this is a question from a new business owner looking to funnel traffic, or not new business owner, they're an established business, but new website, trying to, garner traffic. Where do they start out, especially if they're considering SEO? You've got a few different options as you're going through things.
And Flip for Profit says Google Ads will show you lots of unknown search terms to target too. Yep, you can use Google Keyword Planner. Actually, I haven't really used that in a very long time. I haven't been messing with ads myself in a while now. But yeah, you used to be able to use Google Keyword Planner, and you probably still can, to get some nice keyword ideas. I think pretty much all the tools kind of like draw off of that, but I'm not really sure how the other tools work, but it's kind of what I think.
Pete, seeing you in here week after week, like, I know you're having a hard time, but it's truly like you're an inspiration to everybody else that shows up, or that, is in the group, etc., because it shows that you are actively pursuing the remedy to your business, right? Like to the issue with your business, especially in SEO. So yeah, it's cool seeing that you're in here week after week, day after day, really trying to learn this and, get up and over where you're currently at. So yeah, stay tenacious. We really appreciate people like you, and we're trying to help as best we can get you out of that rut.
And I know, Pete tuning in, a lot of the stuff we're probably saying, it might just kind of sound like gibberish. You might not really completely understand everything that we're talking about, but it's eventually all going to start coming together and making
Yeah.
more sense. And you'll eventually see how easy SEO really is. Because I truly believe,
Chris and me were
I
apes
truly believe
before
SEO
this.
is like super easy. It's just, but it took me, there's just so many little things, and it took a while for it all to kind of click, but once it clicks, you're like, oh, I don't know. There's just and you gotta roll with the algo updates and whatnot, but there's a lot of stuff that's like super advanced that you don't really need to pay attention to. A lot of like the new buzz or whatever, but SEO itself, content, a well structured or well organized website, um, that with no technical problems, no weird stuff going on, and building quality links really, and the rest is just kind of details. But yeah, good to have you back, Pete. And yeah, good to have you active in the group as well. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and end it there, guys. Don't forget 25% off backlinks for 5 more days. Black Friday sale. It's our biggest sale of the year. We sell guest posts, niche edits, PBN links, pillow links, diversity links, profiles, whatever kind of link you want.
So many
We got them,
links.
and even domains too. But yeah, also be sure to like, comment, subscribe on YouTube, helps us out a lot, and join us on Facebook at the SEO Roundtable, our Facebook group. We're in there every day answering questions, posting tips, and all that. All right, thanks,
And
guys.
get ready, because we're gonna have a big old
Oh yeah,
holiday giveaway and a whole lot of activities coming up this month. A lot of people think Black Friday, Cyber Monday, or the end of the year. No, we're gonna be ripping some fun stuff for all you
yeah.
guys and gals
Black
out there.
Friday is our biggest sale, but we usually do a real big giveaway in December for the Christmas holidays. We're based in America, so we're Christmas guys.
I mean, don't put me in a
I
box,
love I
okay?
love
That's
Christmas.
why I
I
say
love
holidays,
Christmas.
holidays. Every year I say
I'm gonna
holidays.
buy like a Santa Claus t-shirt and wear it around here in Bangkok.
Very
No, actually,
cute.
they apparently they decorate like the shopping malls all Christmas
Yeah,
style here as well. They used to do that in China and Korea too.
yeah.
Decorate Christmas decorations everywhere, even though they didn't really celebrate it or anything. But yeah, big giveaway coming up. That'll be in December. But for now, big backlink sale, 25% off. And we'll see you guys next week, Wednesday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, same as usual. Thank you guys. Love you all.